Hello, fellow page chewers and fellow panel chewers. Welcome back to the Pick of the Week podcast. It's our weekly podcast where we talk about all the comics we pulled that week. We end the show with our favorite book, and then we also have an ongoing read-along that we invite all of you to read with us. It is the Frank Miller run on Daredevil. It is available for free to read along with us on Libby or Hoopla, as long as you have a library card. And a library card is free, and everyone should have one. There's lots of free shit at the library. Take advantage of it. So this week we're reading Daredevil 165 and 166. And we usually start off the episodes with a topic, just kind of a conversation topic. But this week, the topic is related to our pick of the week. So we will have the topic when we discuss our pick of the week. We don't get into spoilers. If we do, we'll warn you, but we rarely ever do. So don't worry, we won't spoil you if at the end of when we talk about our pick and the topic. So you're safe. So with all that said, Jarrod, how's it going?
It's going pretty good. I think we have a couple of interesting books to talk about this week.
Yeah. I had really, compared to last week when I had 1,000 books to talk about, this week I only had 4. That includes a pick. I just didn't have that many books that caught my eye, unfortunately. So I've been rereading the Killer Omnibus because I've had it for a long time, and rereading that after reading Affairs of the State too. So kind of starving for some new books. But we just talked about this a second ago, but Assorted Crisis Events is back. So
yeah,
that should be good.
Based on my pre-order today, next week should be pretty good.
Yeah. It's kind of like that. The Sacrificers, they're always, Conan is always in the mix for you. But like for both of us, it's always whenever Assorted Crisis Events or the Sacrifices is around. But that may change. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah. 2 top-notch books this year that definitely. You can't miss out on.
Yeah, definitely. So I'll go ahead and kick us off with my first pick, or my first book that I read. And I had a pretty good week. Spoiler alert. The first book I want to talk about is Skinbreaker number 2. This is by Image Comics. This is, of course, written by Robert Kirkman and some beautiful artwork by David Finch. So this follows kind of a tribe, and the Skinbreaker is part of their customs. It has to do with the sun and the kind of the hierarchy of how power is decided, their customs and culture, and how they value strength and, in some cases, violence, and how that could change over time. So this issue, we learn more about their customs, about how power is transferred and it's challenged, and it's how leadership is chosen and how leadership is perceived if they don't have certain traits. It can cause conflict within the group over time. I really like this book. I know it is very yellow, like an orange color, but it's because of the sun and the role the sun plays in the book. So I get why it has like this orange yellowish tinge to every panel. So it makes sense to me. I've heard a few people talk about it and being bothersome for them, but I really like this book. It explores getting into this tribe and the hierarchies, the power and all that stuff. It's just good. I mean, Kirkman is one of those writers who just, they know how to write comics, and they know what they're doing. So anything Robert Kirkman, usually just about everything Robert Kirkman writes, I'll give a shot. So I'm glad I did. And Skinbreaker number 2 is another excellent book. Excellent issue.
Cool. Yeah, I think I might need to check that out.
Yeah, I think you might enjoy that one.
All right, next, first up, I got Life number 6 from Distillery Comics by Brian Azzarello and Stephanie Phillips, and the artwork by Danijel Zezel. Hope I got that right, but this is the final issue in the Life mini-series of this magazine-size comic book, and this was the series that I first started reading Distillery Comics, and so it's nice to get the final issue finally out. And it ended with a bang, as you might have expected from the nature of the story and the you could kind of tell it was going to culminate in some kind of big big standoff, in shootout type of situation. So in this book has the conceit of being double sided. You read the pros on one side, you can flip it over, you read the cons on the other side. And I think that this particular issue went back. I think they kind of lost that with issue 4
Mhm.
and 5,
Yeah.
where with issue 4 and 5, they kind of needed to tell more stories, so they just kind of continued the story from pros to cons. Whereas this book kind of returned to the first issue, where you got the same story with two different perspectives, basically. And I kind of like that, because I kind of liked that when it first started. That was kind of what drew me to the book, with that interesting format. And I was wondering if they could keep it up the whole time, and
Mhm.
they kind of didn't with the last two issues, but they kind of returned to it with this one. Um, that said, the I, it was been a long time since number 5 was out,
Yeah.
and I kind of forgot who was who, and the artwork doesn't really help with how dark it is. Other than it's weird because you can only really tell who the females are. You can't really tell the differences between the guys on the planet. They all kind of look the same. But so that was kind of a detraction from it. But overall, I think it was a pretty cool story,
Mhm.
and it ended in a very it's not that happy, I would say.
No. No.
um, so it was a little bit what do you call that? Grim, I guess. Grim. You could say that. But overall, I'm definitely glad I read the series as a whole.
Yeah. As you were talking about your thoughts on this one, made me realize the title and how many different ways it plays into the book. And
Yeah,
I can't really we can't really talk about without getting into spoilers. And I think part of what makes this book great is the way the story unravels and the way that all the different angles. So yeah, I think it's pretty clever to name it
yeah,
live. Now that I think about it, I don't ever really thought of it before, but
yeah. It's part of the concept of the book. Yeah,
yeah,
it's pretty
yeah.
cool.
I really wish they would have kept the pros and cons because you read one side and flip the book over, read the other side, and it really worked there for a while. And like you said, they kind of went away from it, but they did return back to it in this one. And I did like how
Yeah,
you see one part of it and then you fill in the blanks on the other side. That's pretty. It's pretty neat.
cool stuff. Yeah,
Yeah. Just want to make a quick shout out to Distillery for having us on their review list. We really appreciate. They're the only publisher that's added us to their review list. So thanks again to Distillery and I still buy the books, but thanks for having us on the list. We get some books like a week or two early, so it's nice to get a head start on some of these and get them read.
yeah. Fantastic company. Really
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yes. So I have Powers 25, number 2, up next, from Brian Michael Bendis and Michael Oeming, the original creators on the book. And this book is a celebration of the Powers universe that's been around for 25 years as an independent published book. And these guys are they're keeping strong with their tradition of coming up with weird superhero criminal cases for these detectives to solve. And this one gets pretty strange. The cover has a picture of a guy with a hole in his head, literally an actual hole, a dead guy. And I'm not really giving anything away by saying that they drop something into the hole of the head and it disappears. It goes somewhere else. And
Oh,
so it was, because that's the big mystery in this book of what's going on with that? Why does this guy have a hole in the head, and why do things just kind of go somewhere else when you drop something through the hole in the head? And it's amusing. Just talking about it makes me laugh, but when you're reading the book, it's a serious crime drama. So
Hmm.
you gotta they're balancing that humor with the seriousness of the situation. Somebody killed this guy, so it's
Hmm.
uh it's kind of funny in that way. And but it's a pretty good story too. It's a pretty good crime caper, and I'm enjoying it. It's a good time.
Is so Powers has been around for a long time. Is this the main series, or there's a few different offshoots?
No, this is the main series.
Oh, okay.
They're calling it 25 because they relaunched it this year.
Oh,
Um, and it's been away for a few years. It hasn't been around for a few years, and they decided to relaunch it and just call it Powers 25, just for the because it's the 25th anniversary of when they started. Plus, it's also the year as well, so it's a little play on that.
very clever. Very clever. That's kind of neat though. So,
Yeah.
all right. So the next one for me is Sleep number 6. This is, of course, by Image Comics. It's written and drawn by Xander Cannon. So I've described this one a few times. Uh, without spoiling anything, there is a small town. Our main character, John, finds himself at the center of these big disasters that there's all this destruction around him when he wakes up, and he can't control it. He doesn't know if it's him. The way that everyone reacts to him tells him that something is wrong and tells us that something's wrong, but we don't know exactly. The book is in black and white or monochrome, and there's certain items that are colored in red. And the items that are colored in red have significance. We just don't know what that is yet. So this whole time, John's been trying to figure out if he's the if he's the thing causing all this destruction, and if so, how does he handle it? How does he stop it? And this issue keeps that mystery going. We do get some a couple of small answers, and we do get some possibilities of what may be coming next. So it is expanding a little bit, and we are introduced to a new color. So I think this book, I kind of think back to shows like Lost, or I can think of a few others that we get lots and lots of questions, and I think it comes to a point where we need either like a big reveal or a new big question, because we're reaching that point of where we're using this mystery where it has me drawn in, but let's I hope it starts moving along a little bit. I still love the book. I still think it's very clever, but the anticipation of this one mystery is we need to evolve a little bit. We need to do something else. I hope it starts to change a little bit, but I still like the book. I just feel like we're reaching that point where we need either answers or new questions to answer. So still a fun book. So I'm it's like putting a puzzle together. So I'm still on board, but looking for something to keep it kind of moving.
Xander Cannon, was he the one that worked with Alan Moore
I'm not sure.
way back when? The name sounds familiar.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Cool name though. I'm guessing it's a pen name, but or
Maybe, yeah.
it's a cool choice though.
Um, Next up, I have The Killer Affairs of the State 2, number 5. And this book is actually really difficult to talk about without giving anything away,
Mhm.
because I think it's the penultimate issue in this mini series right now. Um, and basically, the stuff hits the fan in this one,
Hmm.
and a lot of exciting stuff happens. I know you've been reading this and catching up to it, and basically, I so it wouldn't be you probably had the same questions about his situation and his handler that I did along the way, and I this issue here makes me really wonder about his handler and what's going to happen with their situation. And I'm hoping those questions are answered in the next issue. And it
Hmm.
was this one like left you on the seat on the edge of your seat, like wanting the next issue. It was really it was really good. It was really a lot of build up in the first few issues have really led to this one, and what's going to happen next is really I can't wait. It's really good.
So I don't think it's a spoiler to say that the killer he's a hired assassin, is a handler, and they have this friendly, I guess friendly-ish
Mm-hmm.
uh, kind of relationship, but there always seems to be this mistrust or a limit to how much they trust each other,
Mm-hmm.
and it sounds like that is starting to build. So yeah, it feels like
Yeah.
that's been kind of being set up along the way.
Oh yeah, and you don't always know if that trust is because of their personal relationship or if it's because of other people involved. So it's very interesting. It gets really tense in this one.
Very very clever book though, very clever.
Yeah. All right. Next up, I have Detective Comics number 1102. And this continues the detective like story from the last issue where Batman is infected. It says it right on the cover, infected. and the storyline, the courage that kills. There was actually more action in this episode than this issue than I expected
Mhm.
towards the end of it, and but it still can. I still like the whole setup. I like the focus on Batman using his noggin and trying to figure stuff out, and it kind of it kind of descended into typical superhero stuff at the end where he's just fighting a guy. But
Yeah, yeah,
I found it interesting still. I really like where it's going. I want to see how he gets out of this situation. It's pretty it looks pretty dire.
yeah.
So it's been a long time since a Batman comic had me wondering how Batman was going to get out of it. I mean, Batman's always going to live on, um, but it's it's pretty tense as far as that
Mhm.
goes.
Yeah, I'm surprised that it's had my attention the way it has. I usually don't
Yeah,
go for that, but yeah, been a good one.
I'm liking it.
Yeah. The next one for me is Spectrograph number 4. This is the last issue in the series, this 4-part series. It's hard to describe this one without giving away too much. It's about a house that was built and made for a very specific purpose that it, you would never guess why. It has to do with life and death, the afterlife, and immortality, and lots of other kind of themes like that. There is a real estate agent that gets stuck in the house, and she has other responsibilities that she skirts and is stuck. So there's tension of her needing to get out to cater to solve this other problem that she has before it's too late, and of course surviving inside the house as things go bad to worse pretty fast. I think the last issue was fitting. I think it fits in the story. It was a great idea, and I think the end makes sense. I should have seen it coming, and that's a good. I mean that as a good way, in a good way, because it all makes sense. It all kind of fits. I would think the only complaint I have is that it would have been nice to have more time with some of the characters, but I don't know that that was really the focus of this one. It was the idea behind the house and the purpose of it. So I think it all worked really well. The artwork, the writing, all of it, very, very good. It all worked together. Great series, and one that I'll probably reread again at some point. But yeah, I mean, good, solid series.
Yeah, it's fascinating, this concept of a house that's alive, kind of,
Mhm.
or a house that has it feels like the house is part of the is a character, part of the plot, and more than just atmosphere. It's like
Mhm.
really affecting the characters,
Yeah,
and I really like that. It's a interesting concept.
definitely some House of Leaves vibes in this one, and I love House of Leaves. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. We just read a on Speculations podcast. We just read a book called Rose House, and it had that similar type of feel to it.
Hmm.
Um, it was a novella by Arkady Martin, so
Oh,
it's
okay.
very similar if you want to check it out. It's quick to read, but
Hmm.
it was basically an AI that controls a house, and it had that similar feel to the
Oh,
house being, the prominent type of character or whatever.
hmm. Nice.
Very cool. Uh, Next up, I have Lazarus Fallen, number 5, and this continues the Lazarus storyline uh, in this this near dystopian world that we're thrust into here in this Lazarus universe where corporations control the world. It you're not going to find a much better book out there that has such solid characterization, such well drawn characters, such gray areas in who these characters are, and there's no black and white villains in this world. They're fully fleshed out people who make horrible choices in a lot of cases, and who make some of these corporations have people in charge of them who make choices based on the bottom line,
Hmm.
but aren't really involved in the personal struggles of real people. So they have the blinders on when they're making these decisions, and they're callous and cruel decisions based upon that. And some of that gets drawn out in this storyline. Some of that gets thrust into these people's faces, and they see the horror of what they may be doing. And it really is just so well done. And I this would have been my pick of the week if we didn't have the one we got, but
Oh, wow.
I just loving it. I'm loving the fact that this is the big, huge, long wrap up to the whole storyline, and it continues. I can't wait to get there,
Wow.
or I can, because I don't want it to end. But
Yeah.
you know how it goes.
Yeah. I know how it goes. It's good and it's also bad that there was no trombone this week and there was no Super Mario effects.
Yeah,
That's a pretty good week.
that's some good reading. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I kind of miss the trombone though. It's fun to use it. But with all that said, is that time for the pick of the week. And this week, Jared and I have the same pick. And
That's
those of you who listen to the podcast can probably guess what it is. So, Jared, I'll let you
Well,
take it away.
I'm just glad you could join me on the Conan train there,
Yeah.
Steve.
Yeah. I went to
um,
the comic book store and was kind of wandering around this weekend and walked in and saw it on the shelf and I'm going to pick that up and give it a shot.
yeah, well, I'm interested in hearing your thoughts on it because I've read these stories before, so these stories are nothing new to me. I've read these. This is this is a Savage Sword of Conan reforged. Number one, and Titan is reprinting older material from the '70s, the classic run of Roy Thomas on the Savage Sword of Conan in this beautiful magazine size, um, and they're redoing it all in color.
Mm.
So, uh, but I would like to know what you thought of the stories themselves, and I don't know if you've read these adaptations before or not,
No.
and what did you think of in a modern frame? compared to the 70s. What did you think of these stories and these adaptations?
Yeah, these were new to me stories. I really liked both stories. Uh, the Frost Giant's daughter was good. I think it was a little short, but I wondered, I think they need more layers of clothes in that kind of weather. But I thought it was a clever story. The second story, the Tower of the Elephant, that one really got to me. I was surprised. It was just not what I was expecting at all, and I love the lore and the history, and it managed to talk enough about the history of this world for someone like me who knows next to nothing about the history of Conan. It kind of introduces different time periods and rises and falls of civilizations, and the epic fantasy. It's just lots of nostalgia to have like this epic fantasy feeling, and the just the artwork, the story. It all felt very. I'm going to keep saying epic fantasy, but it just felt like sword and sorcery. It just felt like comfort food. It was just fun. It was a good story. It was cool. I didn't realize, and this ties into our topic that we skipped at the beginning, because you wanted to talk about reprints, and I
Hmm.
wondered if this, because I expected this book to be black and white, so I was surprised when it was color. I wasn't complaining, but I wondered, how was that also for you reading this in color because you're familiar with these?
Yeah. So this Reforge project is to put these classic stories into new color with these modern colorization techniques. Um, and yeah, they were originally presented in black and white. The Frost Giant's daughter is from Savage Sword of Conan #1, I believe,
Hmm.
and the Tower of the Elephant story is reprinted from Savage Sword of Conan #24.
Hmm.
Um, and they are two classic stories written by Howard, originally as short stories, um, and published in either Weird Tales or one of the other fantasy magazines back then. Um, and the I was looking at it too in that light of the reprint, and I have the old collections of the Savage Swords of Conan in black and white, and I was looking at the artwork and I was comparing it from one panel to the next, one colored, one not, and the beauty of um, the the pure ability of John Buscema, his artwork in Tower of the Elephant. There was nothing like it at the time. It was so detailed and it was so well drafted, and that includes the inks of Alfredo Alcala. Um, and it was made originally to be in black and white. He drew it
Hmm.
that way to be that way. And I think coloring it, I'm not so sure for myself as a aficionado of these old comics. I'm not so sure of myself if the coloring does anything more for
Hmm.
it than what I saw originally in those beautiful black and white drawings that were drawn to be black and white. Because when an artist is drawing a panel for a comic, they do have coloring in mind when they're drawing those panels, and he did not for these drawings. Um, and so you tend to put in a lot more finer detail with your pencil lines and stuff like that. A lot more shadowing and shading that goes into the inks because they know that color is not going there. So
Hmm.
they put a lot more things into the inks to differentiate background and foreground and clothing and even even characters to make sure that people stand out
Hmm.
in a way that you're going to be able to tell who's who and so forth when using line drawing and ink to differentiate stuff and have the artwork, stand out in different ways. And so even like the tower itself has glittering jewels on it. Um, and when you
Hmm.
know that you're going to have color, you can have the color make those things look different. The jewels
Right.
look different. The colors bring out different things. And when you don't, you have to differentiate that with the inks and with the way you draw it. And with all that being said, I think they did a pretty good job with coloring this comic book, these drawings and stuff like that. I think Titan is a really good outfit, and they really want to do this Conan stuff justice. And I think that I'm hoping that with the colorization of these classic tales, that they'll reach a new audience,
Yeah.
um, and they'll bring them in. And if that's the goal, then I applaud it mightily. And I applaud. I mean, and Barry Windsor Smith is the artist on the Frost Giant's Daughter. He's another classic draftsman who just has that very fine, detailed style that he brought to Conan as well. And I think it's great that this could be, drawing in a new audience. I'm always going to treasure the classic black and white drawings, though. I think they're just gorgeous.
Yeah. Yeah. I would assume it's to. I would assume their motivation is because, like you said, it's going to hopefully, like, an audience that may not pick up a black and white book may say, "Well, it's in color, so I'll try it," or maybe they'll read a Conan book when they wouldn't have otherwise. Or
Yeah,
for people who are fans who want to see a different, who want to see these stories that they love in color and maybe from a different perspective or have a different kind of appreciation for it. But I would imagine that it would be scary to not overdo it and lose the kind of the original feel of the book when you insert color.
right.
That must be. I'm assuming they took care in doing that.
Yeah, yeah. That's the trick. Is yeah, you don't want to have the colors wash out the beautiful artwork beneath
Hmm.
it. And I think they did a pretty good job. I think they did a pretty good job of taking care with that.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't know if you noticed, but the cover is gorgeous too, and it's by Roberto De La Torre,
Yeah.
and he's been drawing Conan also on and off for a while now, and he actually mirrored the cover with a panel on the inside, but he reversed where Conan is. That it's a picture of these two guys fighting a lion, but he reversed where Conan is on the cover from the panel on the inside. Conan's on
Oh.
top, and the other guy is at the bottom fighting the lion. And in the comic, Conan's on the bottom and the guy's on the top. And that was just an interesting choice for the cover artist to want to show that in a different manner.
Yeah, that cover is different from mine. The cover I had, I sent you a picture of it, but it's the red with Red Sonia and some skeleton warriors surrounding them.
Oh,
So yeah, I
really?
wonder how many variations of it
Oh, I don't
there
know how many
was.
different covers there were. Yeah, that's
Oh,
interesting.
hmm.
Cool.
But
I
yeah,
mean,
that's really
and
neat.
yeah, just beautiful stuff. Um, the and there's a nice little article in here by Patrick Zurcher,
Mhm.
um, giving you some context. And there's also that beautiful poem that Barry Windsor Smith illustrated, uh, and he illustrated a poem in here that was only like 4 or 5 pages, but it was just nice, nice stuff.
Actually made me want to pick up the Howard's short story collection, the Conan short story collection, and try reading those because they're just, I don't know. There's something nostalgic about that, about Conan, and that just the feeling it has for me. I mean, so it was just fun. It was just a fun read. And the second story really got me. I did not
Mm.
expect it to. It really kind of ruined my day in a good way. It was not what I was expecting at all. So yeah, it was a really neat story. I was impressed.
Yeah, that was Howard's prose is very good.
Yeah.
He doesn't get quite enough credit for that sometimes because people just write off Conan as, oh yeah, the big barbarian in wielding the sword and killing wizards or whatever. But Howard's prose is very very good, and he those are always great stories to read in between other stuff or what have you.
Mm.
And if you want to take a break from long books and just get into that, but still have a really great prose style with some driving, visceral action in there. Howard's definitely he's one of my top 10 writers.
Hmm. Yeah, I really want to get into the short stories. And now Conan, the Savage Sword of Conan, reforged on my pull list. So I'm I'm hooked.
We gotcha.
Yeah, you got me. You got me.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I have a question: do I want to continue to buy stories that I've already read? You know,
You do because it's in color.
I know I'm going to
You're gonna
anyways.
do it. Stop it. You're not
You
fooling
know I'm
anybody.
going to.
You're not fooling
Jeez.
anybody. You're not fooling anyone.
Okay, you got me. You
Okay,
got me.
yeah.
All right.
Like, oh, am I gonna? I don't know if I will or not. Like, yeah, you will. You can't. I mean, because if I
But
know
I
if I
already,
loved it, I wouldn't.
yeah,
I would
I
be.
already
Yeah,
have them. No, but I already have them. All right.
yeah. But it's in color.
I'm still gonna get it. Yeah,
It's
I
in
know.
color. Yeah, it was good stuff. I had a good time with it, and the big size, the big magazine size, and the paper had a like a newsprint kind of feeling to it. It just the whole experience.
Yeah, yeah, I love it. I loved it. They did a great job.
Mhm. So, with all that said, it is time to talk about our read along or group read that we're having. We invite you to read along with us. We are reading Frank Miller's Daredevil, and this week we are discussing issues 165 and 166. 165, where Doctor Octopus is makes an appearance, and of course Daredevil is hanging out with Natasha until Heather's in trouble, and Daredevil springs into action to save his main squeeze, Heather. Apparently,
Yeah, yeah. I was like, what?
yeah, that
Refusing help from Black Widow?
yeah, that was weird.
That was
That was,
weird.
yeah, he's like, "No, I'm good." Like, oh, why?
Right. And she just goes, "Oh, okay." I'm just like, I mean, I guess she did show up at the end there, but
Yeah, I showed up just to see, just to be like, okay,
just
well, bye.
just to cry over her broken heart, just
Yeah, there's nothing left for me here in New York. I'm
uh,
leaving.
and you know what's funny, and the whole Doc Ock battle was, villain of the month, silly
Mhm.
stuff, right? Um, but what was funny was, why would there be a newspaper article about the Black Widow leaving New York City? Like, like she would announce it, like, to the newspapers,
I
I
guess it
was
was a
just
big
like,
story. Yeah,
okay, that's weird too.
they could have just had her like walking away with a like or packing her stuff and be like, "Oh, there's nothing left for me here. I'm leaving." Maybe it was
Yeah,
the old school announcing you're leaving on social media. I guess that was the thing back then.
right. Yeah, I was kind of disappointed in both of these issues, to be honest with you. They
Yeah, I was kind of torn
really,
on them. I mean, on one hand, it's kind of nice having like a one issue contained story, but again, I think coming off of this big long epic Dark Phoenix saga, it's it's a really different feel to it. It just doesn't feel as significant, at least not yet.
yeah. I mean, like the villain in the next issue, 166, was a joke.
Oh,
I mean,
Gladiator.
the Gladiator, really? I was just like, wow. And I mean, the only thing we really got out of this issue, I think, 166, was you did get a little bit of some Foggy Nelson family dynamics in there, a little bit of characterization with him and stuff, and
His bad suits.
yeah, and but I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for the greatness of this run to come in, and I just not seeing it yet. I'm like,
Yeah,
damn, what is it that people see in this run? So far, I'm kind of not seeing it.
yeah.
I mean, it's okay. Like the artwork's good. It's decent.
Mhm.
I'm starting to see little touches of
Yeah.
that Frank Millerness that we come to get later on, like with the Dark Knight Returns and stuff.
Mhm.
I'm starting to see little bits of that in there. And he's developing as an artist, and I see that, and it's good. He's a good artist. Um, but I'm not the story wise. I'm just not feeling it. I'm not feeling that they, like you said, they good throwaway 1 month issue stuff. But I'm waiting for this greatness of a run. That's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah, I was a little bit surprised because we go from Daredevil going to save Heather, uh, Natasha leaving New York, and then in the next issue, Daredevil and Heather are this really close couple. They're
Hmm.
going to a wedding together. There's this goofy villain that Daredevil has to beat up, and it's just kind of okay. I mean, it's cool and everything, but I am starting to see the artwork, some of the different colors and different panels that's being used, and like I said, I am starting to see the Frank Millerness of it, and it's good artwork. But like you said, the story, and again, maybe they're just building towards something. I mean, the next issue does have Punisher, so
Hmm.
maybe, and it's like, well, the most daring issue ever, or something like that, was a tease for it, and
Yeah. Right.
the end of
Yeah.
166. So maybe something iconic happens. I think, from what I understand, the Netflix Daredevil show, they based a lot of the interactions with Punisher off of Frank Miller's run, from what I understand. So maybe there's something that at least we'll get to say, oh, okay, that's where that's from, or something.
Yeah. No, I hope so. I hope like that light switch goes off, and we go, "Oh, okay. Here we go."
Yeah. Yeah. And again, it's not bad. When we talk about classic runs, typically we start off when we start building, and things get momentum, and there's a, a, a villain, or something that is propelling the story forward, or a problem that builds. Like in Dark Phoenix Saga, there's the Dark Phoenix. It builds for 30 issues. And so, but maybe we just haven't got there yet, and we just have to be patient.
Yeah.
We'll see. But we invite you to read along with us. We'll be talking 167 and 168 next week. And of course, if you have any thoughts on Daredevil or any other thing we talk about, please feel free to reach out to us. We can send a message to us using the link below, or you can come and chat with us on the forum and let us know what your thoughts are, and talk about Daredevil or any other comic. Um, so yeah, pretty good week, I would say.
Pretty good.
So until next time, Jared, where can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me on the Fantasy Thinker YouTube channel. You can find me on Speculation Podcast, and you can find me on the Oscar Project for Film Chewing.
Yes, yes. We just finished Chariots of Fire, and next is Gandhi, right?
Yeah,
I haven't watched it yet, so
me either.
it's next up. Yay. Okay. It'll be good. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, thanks again, everyone, for listening. I really appreciate the support, and coming to listen to us talk comics. And we hope you're having a good week, and we hope you find your pick of the week.
Bye bye now.